Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Jared Popechoy and I'm the founder and director of Nordic Walking Nations. I hope you had an opportunity to look at two videos. First is our health benefits of Nordic walking. The second video is healthy lifestyles for you and your family. That provides you with a lot of information that I think you need to view and have a better idea what this program is all about besides strictly just walking. Obviously, I've created a number of exercises along in a video for stretching, strengthening, breathing, increased flexibility, gives you balance. So there's a lot to this besides strictly just the exercises too. It's about lifestyle changes, and that covers those issues also. But for right now, I want to take a few minutes to go over the pole package with our Ultimate Walking Warrior carbon fiber poles, which is a 2-segment pole, and it's basically equivalent to the high-end leaky poles, which is world famous in Europe, which goes for almost $200 for the same similar pole. It's got the custom pole that takes approximately 6 weeks to make like ours. It's got the special release in the handle so you can release your glove. It's got the speed lock on it also, and it comes with a pair of trail tips, and they go for almost $200. Our package includes, which is almost $60 in accessories for half the price. We include the bag, the trail tips, the snow baskets, 2 sets of indoor rubber tips, 2 sets of outdoor walking hard rubber outdoor tips also, for less than half the price. So I'm going to get started now and show you how to set up your pole, which is fairly simple, and it only takes you a few minutes to do. So I'm going to try to cover all the issues you might run into, but this is pretty simple. First of all, when you first get the pole, you're going to take off the trail tip right here, and you're going to see the carbide tip right here. At that point, you're going to need to put on the sand basket. And the sand basket, once you twist it on, and you want to make sure it's nice and tight. And when you first twist this on, you're going to probably have a hard time turning it on, because the speed lock, because these are brand new poles, hasn't been tightened up to create resistance. So if you start putting this on, you're going to find it's twisting. It's hard to do. So what you need to do first is click open the speed lock right like this, and then turn clockwise about 5 turns until you feel a form of resistance. You hear it click. Now when you put the sand basket on, you'll have a better opportunity to twist it on and make sure it's nice and tight. I always recommend, because with the carbide tip, it's used primarily for soft surfaces like grass, the sand, and hiking trails. And over time, if you don't check this periodically, this can loosen up a little bit, and this can come off while you're walking, and you'll lose the sand basket. The sand basket on these different surfaces, like I mentioned, will keep the pole from sinking into the soft surface, and that's why I recommend keeping the sand basket on all the time. There's no reason for you to take it off. So, like I mentioned, you only have one speed lock, which makes it really simple. So once you tighten this up and click it down. Now what you don't want to do is tighten it so tight that you're trying to click it real hard. If you do, you'll probably break the mechanism, because it's not meant to be so tight that you can't even click it down. If it's not tight enough, and I'll demonstrate that in the first class, when you start walking and you feel like one of the poles is shortening up, then probably what happens is the resistance here isn't strong enough. So you just click this open, don't leave it locked, and then you find out it won't turn, and then have to get a screwdriver, you'll break the mechanism. So what you want to do is click it open, tighten up a little bit more, and then click it down, and do that. And that's real important there. Now the gloves will fit any size hand. These are custom pole gloves that I designed. And what you want to do, the poles, there is no right or left pole. You can interchange them, doesn't matter. But there is a right and left glove. L for left and R for right. And what you want to do is make sure the outside of the glove has the Velcro. And you want to slide this through the little buckle here. And then once you get it, slide your hand in where the thumb is, then you'll look like this. And then what you have to do is just slide this in, and you're going to hear this click in, and it's ready to go. If you want to release the glove, then some people can put their thumb up, click the red button, and it releases. Most people, like myself, will reach over, click it with the other hand, and release the pole, the glove from the pole. And it's that simple. And so otherwise, this is a very important part of Nordic walking. The next part is, I'll demonstrate to you real quick. All you do is bring this pole out, because it's only a 2-segment pole, and when you stand up, and you push down and make sure you're down to 90 degrees, then you drop it approximately 1.5 inches to 2 inches, then it's all set. So even if you bring it down to here, it doesn't matter the length here, because you don't have 3 segments trying to balance out the middle segment with the lower segment. So at that point, you just click it and it's ready to go. If you're using an indoor or an outdoor rubber tip, I recommend putting it on. And then what you do is the front of the pole is facing forward with the tip, and you always want to make sure the boot is facing backwards. And the reason for that is that you always want to have the pole at a slight angle from here, no less than that, or even at this level right here. Because once you bring the pole straight up like this, you are basically using hiking or trekking technique. And that technique is simply, you're walking with 2 canes in front of you virtually, that provides, extends no energy. All it does is give you stability, but it reduces the energy output. If you ever seen a cross-country skier, the poles are always at an angle or a more severe angle, taking them through a complete range of motion. And that's what, that resistance is what moves you forward about 30% faster, but it activates your upper body, and that's what puts you into 4-wheel drive. And 4-wheel drive means you just activated all 4 extremities, and you just went into what we call a full body aerobic resistant cross-motor function exercise that generates neurological pathways. And that's why 10 minutes of walking with these poles is equivalent to 17 minutes of walking, of regular walking, which only activates the lower part of your body. So this activates twice as many muscles, so it duplicates the health benefits of swimming and cross-country skiing, which is a full body aerobic cross-motor function exercise generating neurological pathways. So this is great for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, any neurological type problems. Also with the gloves, and I'll show you in the class, the gloves, when they attach in here, they allow you to hold on to the pole very lightly, and when you push off, you squeeze and you open up. So anybody with Parkinson, anybody with carpal tunnel problems or wrist problems, this allows you to hold on to the poles without having to hold on to the poles consistently like you have to do with hiking or trekking poles. And that's another benefit also. Otherwise, that's the simple part of, that's all there is to it really. These are used if you decide to go hiking and you get into an area there's a lot of rock and granite. Instead of pounding on the carbide tip, you can put this on, and these are what we call trail tips also. This is a great pole. A lot of hikers can use this also because it's 30% lighter. Um, I don't use my carbon poles for hiking because for my research I found that if you happen to get the lower segment into a crevice and twist it, it can actually break the carbon fiber. That's its weakest areas down towards the very end. And when you're spending a lot of money for carbon fiber, even though this is half the price of the leaky type poles, they're still expensive compared to an average basic pole. And our poles are custom poles, and you pay for what you get. But the difference with ours, even compared to leaky or anything else on the market, we have a complete program. And the program, we stand 100% behind our products, and we're constantly upgrading, giving you more information. Now, our next step is I want you to go to our next session, which is our basic Nordic walking technique. And I'll take a few minutes going over you outside how to get started, how to do this. It's fairly simple, really easy. People normally catches on within about 4 or 5 minutes, and it's not difficult. Then I'll show you a little bit about the advanced walking technique, and that's something that about 30% of people will use. Otherwise, like myself and most people, they'll use the basic Nordic walking technique. But besides that, I've created some community walking clubs called Nordic Walking, and we have the Nordic Walking with the pastor, Nordic Walking with the teacher, Nordic Walking with the boss, Nordic Walking with the senior. And I'm sure that there'll be some of you there that will be wanting to maybe become a lifestyle consultant, or maybe an instructor, maybe at your senior home. And if it's the basic is good for you, but if for any reason you want to get advanced technique, we are the only company endorsed by the American Nordic Walking Association, and they teach more advanced technique, usually that if you as an instructor might want to take, and I always recommend them, and they are on our website also. And of course we have a lot of other information that you'll probably find out from some of the top lifestyle doctors in the world, providing information on diet, nutrition, lifestyle changes. And we're partnering with some incredible groups from cancer hospitals that sees that to make a change in your life, you add 12 years onto your life fairly easy by following the 9 principles of the Blue Zones. So again, I just want to thank you for taking the time. I think you'll love your poles, no matter which set of poles you decide on. But I have to state one thing again, is that the carbon fiber poles will not fit into a small suitcase. That's why it's not a traveler pole, it's the Ultimate Walking Warrior. And of course, why did I call this the Ultimate Walking Warrior? And that's because for approximately every 60 poles that my company sells, I donate a set of our high-end carbon fiber poles to a disabled veteran. And so that's always giving back to the community. That's what it's all about. And again, I just want to thank you for taking the time, and I'll see you in just a few minutes and give you some lessons on basic Nordic walking. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.